everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Leah Catherine, this is Leah Sees Movies, and we are back with the next episode of Young Justice, episode 2 of the Zatanna arc. The comments were not super excited for this arc. This seems to be a fairly divisive point in the season, but honestly, I really enjoyed that first episode. I like Clarion. I like the idea of introducing more Chaos Emerald Lords, and it's Zatanna, and I'm cool with her. Maybe it'll take it to a horrible left turn, but for now, I'm in. I'm excited. I do enjoy the introduction of a creepy little girl. I think they're like one of the most consistent characters you can add to a show. It's like, hey, what can we do to make our villain a little bit less or more intimidating? We add a creepy younger sister who's better than him at doing villain stuff. It's a formula that works, and it works for a reason. So I'll be a little disappointed if they do it wrong, but for now, I'm in. Also, last episode, they blew up a man. Just guts everywhere, full invincible to him. So at least on that level, they have my attention. I'm watching, I'm locked. So I'm gonna keep this brief. Let's get started.
He would help rebuild and repopulate the village of Atlantis.
Did he sink it? Did Clarion sink Atlantis?
Latest grandson, Vandal again began his travels.
Like his actual lineage grandson, or just someone in his land?
A prosperous, if not miraculous, city-state. Leading that city
Presumably
was Pharaoh's
because
own
they're all
grandson.
metahumans.
Still alive 200 years later.
No, he's
An
actual.
immortal like his grandfather.
Do they fight?
The first
Death?
immortal.
Or does Arion like still exist and like he sunk Atlantis? Or did Vandal be like, hey, actually, did Vandal be like, oh dear, was Vandal I was gonna say, was Vandal threatened by another immortal, but A, we just saw him, he looked very proud. And B, he's always strategizing. Like, you know what's better than one of me? Two of me. Or at least one of my descendants who has my same abilities. Although, we know he's immortal. We don't know if he has the same coming back from the dead abilities as his grandfather. Has anyone tried killing him? It's a real tough situation, because if you're wrong, but I feel like if they're not sure.
You heard was a summons.
Ooh, is it him?
A summons of pure chaos.
Okay, so we're playing both sides, I see. Roanoke. They always, all supernatural fantasy shows, they love Roanoke to do some nonsense, some magic, some witchery.
I don't need backup. I don't need you.
You're confused. I'm not here to help you. I'm here to replace you.
There we go.
Right after I decorporealize you.
What?
Am I gonna make more Good Place references? Probably.
That's simply the last straw. It's the way you've spent the past dozen millennia or so, acting as lapdog to the savage.
Oh, I have to go through my own comments now to add the clip, but I was right, I literally said that. Are they gonna...
To us, you do his bidding, despite the fact that his clearly stated long-term goal is to bring the entire...
I'm like, Chaos Lords wouldn't like that.
He's all but a lord of order himself.
Wait, and then there was that whole Earth 17 fiasco. Success! Success! She knew I meant success.
No, I think fiasco is the appropriate term. That ends now.
She's so Azula coded. Okay, but I got it, bro. I got it. I'm so good, guys. Yeah, these cutbacks get more and more jarring every time. It's like, do you remember Connor died at the beginning of the season? And I do remember, but just like...
Are we there yet? I was kidding. It's something Earth children say on long voyages.
It was a joke.
Right, McGann?
She doesn't really want to talk about her favorite TV show, Crunch Planet. She's like, it's like our favorite Funko Pops. It's like, this is not the time.
I'm worried about her. It's been 3 weeks aboard ship. Almost 2 months since Connor died.
I love when they blur the background to show like a two-way telepathic connection.
Needs her family.
What are we?
She needs the family she created for herself on Earth.
Also, Emery's like, what are we? Now, girl, you just had to have the I'm not a racist conversation. Clearly, you're not that close.
The Crown Aryan War was a gift from the Lords of Order themselves, who'd come to see the potential for chaos in Earth's predominant life form. So as a precaution, they made Aryan their...
Has anyone played Deasim? Like in VR? It looks like it. When you can do blessings on one of your little...
of magical meta-children,
lines.
the Homo Magi, who lived in Atlantis in harmony with Varl's Homo Meta.
So I guess this is the predecessor for Atlantean magic?
Efficient with the crown's magic, using it to advance Atlantis' techno-sorcery.
This even feels like Deasim, like when you send an alien down and your country, your little city gets advanced.
It was the mightiest civilization known to mankind, either before or
And
since.
yet there's no record of it.
But for Varljat, it only made him hunger for something more.
You seriously want us to save the Witch Boy? And frankly, the idea of two Chaos Lords destroying each other sounds...
Well, they're not destroying each other. One's destroying the other, and one is a bit more chaos-minded than Clarion is.
You pathetic knockoff.
Great, a front row seat.
I sent her to where your teacher might learn. I assume you might want to help her.
Of course we would.
Then let us find someone to suit that purpose.
Are they going for Dr. Fate? Would Dr. Fate help Clarion?
I'm powerful because I'm not fighting with my power alone.
You're fighting the family.
And together, we'll banish you to usher in a new age of chaos in this world.
Poor Earth. They're just always in the middle of some nonsense.
Gotcha!
Well, I'll be damned.
Was my scream convincing?
Again, they love an immortal character because they're like, let's brutally kill them. It's okay, because they're fine.
Not fair.
I don't see what you guys were complaining about. I'm having a great time.
Use the power of the crown to sink the Atlantean capital.
And why?
Hundreds of your Homo Magi would survive. The crisis will activate their potential.
Their potential to be aquatic? Like, I don't... If they literally are already magical, what is...
And knew he could not claim supremacy over the Earth when 3/4 of its surface was covered in ocean beyond his reach. But Aryan's descendants, those that survived, would surely conquer the vasty deep. Unfortunately, Aryan
Unfortunately, he refused to sink his city full of his own people and family members.
But the immortal didn't require Aryan's permission, or even his help. Only his bloodline.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not fully understanding the plan. Did Vandal Savage never hear of boats? It's like, oh, I can't conquer the oceans. My dude, sail above them.
The Chaos Lord Clarion returned.
I thought you were taking us to Zatanna.
No, I said I was taking you to someone who could help. Learn to listen.
Importantly, we are in the sanctum sanctorum of one, Jason Blood. I hold few answers, only questions.
No, that's a different guy.
The coming of chaos. The stirring of the demon.
Would you not agree that the balance must be maintained?
Okay, but let's say the Chaos Lords destroy Earth. Does that, in the grand scale, does that upset the balance? Earth's kind of a crapshoot to begin with.
Powerful.
Then can you not see that the Witch Boy requires your friend?
We're using, what's his name? Extragon?
But at best, he is a cannon I may attempt to aim. There's a reason I haven't set him free in years. Basically, don't touch anything.
Sorry. I would say after the first couple items, or like maybe this one though. This is the touchy one.
Change of form of man.
Maybe you should have taken him to the fight and then done this. Also, sorry, I got this like little fidget cube thing, and this is who I am now. If this is distracting, I'm sorry, but I'm also not gonna stop.
At the moment, I can't remember why I ever wanted to go to that boring, banal, third rock from the sun.
No one forced you to come.
I came because you needed me.
I never asked you for that.
You didn't have to ask. I wanted to be here.
And this is about me. I know she's trying to like piss her off to make her engage thing, but
Wait a minute,
we go.
Is it working a little bit?
That was like clearly she's trying to piss her off. I need a professional guidance counselor. Is it working a little bit?
He's gone.
Anyway, let's go back to the demon Etrigan. What's he up to?
You're a terrible counselor. But you're kind of a great sister. Who knew?
Great seems strong. Yeah, who knew? Oh, is that a school bus? Why is that school bus still running around struggling? Where's Miss Frizzle?
Like Jason Blood, this child doth hide an other.
Okay, don't sniff my insides.
My half-brother Merlin not cursed me into servitude. I'd let you
That
all
I did not
burn.
know. Who is the parent here that had one Merlin and one this guy?
Flaming serpents? Really? I stopped doing that old shtick years ago.
I mean, so far you're just kind of shooting red beams of light at each other. It's not very creative. At least a flaming serpent has pizzazz.
Hello, maggot! Attack the witch girl's anchor!
Oop. Maybe she was smart to get an anchor that's a bit thicker than a cat. We're trying the Sokovia solution here. Yeah, if there is something to complain about, the pacing is very frantic in this. Like, I like the parts, but there's a lot, doesn't flow very well.
In a common cause, the sinking of the city of Atlantis.
Well, I guess that answers my question. He was immortal, but not come back to death immortal.
Clarion could not be sated by one Atlantean city until the entire continent and all its treasures sank beneath the waves. He regretted the passing of his grandson.
But anyway,
Nor for so many Atlanteans to die.
it was literally your whole plan, and honestly, it wasn't a great plan.
Still, as Varl had predicted, the metagenes of a few Homo Magi were indeed activated, and the water breathers of Atlantis were born.
Seems super convenient that so many of them had water powers.
So ultimately, Varl Jat was satisfied, as was Clarion, insisted on continuing their alliance, whether Varl liked it or not.
So does he just have to occasionally be like, all right, Clarion, you're allowed to destroy this thing. But then if you're allowed to destroy it, that's not really chaos. Like, it's like when you go to those things where you can like pay money to like hit a car with a baseball bat. That's not vandalism, you're paid for that. So if Clarion's only destroying what he's told to destroy, then doesn't work. Are they gonna toast her? Nah. I was curious if it... I like that a lot. If they were gonna actually show her like burned, but no. Boats, Vandal. We could have just had boats. Oh, there's like a city there. That sucks for those people. Oh no!
I could kick your butt too if the Chaos Lord spanked me!
But I mean, it doesn't seem like that actually hurt him. He just got hit.
Oh, that is very disappointing.
Well, not to rush you, Zatanna, but Roanoke is underwater. You may have noticed.
And have you acquired perspective?
Enough to know we need more help.
Thus, order can serve chaos, and chaos can serve order, as long as the balance is maintained.
But the problem is, on what scale?
Mind you, my son, of which you must not forget. The sinking of Atlantis demonstrates the need for chaos, Without it, the undersea kingdoms you now help defend would never have existed. But who will restore order in the wake of the greater chaos that the child brings? You? With your agent
I love that they
host
just
body?
accepted her name is the child. She got here like yesterday. Also, I know I'm just not reacting to the big reveal that Nabu is actually Vandal's son, but there's a lot happening, okay?
But this new child is beyond my control, or your ability to counter.
I mean, can't all the Lords of Order, like, team up the way the Chaos Lords did?
Lifeboat.
Oop.
Send boom tubes to every member of the Light and anyone they designate. Secure our operations in Markovia and United Relasia. Transport the entire contents of my history cave from beneath Wheaton Peak. Anything and everything of value must be transferred off Earth to the war world.
Wow.
Until we see how this chaotic little drama ends.
That's pretty, like, the child is a pretty substantial threat to him. He's taking everyone out. Alright, so, reveals this episode. Atlantis was founded, well, that was the reveal last episode. That Atlantis was founded by Vandal Savage. It was run by his grandson, who was bequeathed the crown by the Lords of Order, despite Vandal being assisted by a Lord of Chaos. That immortal grandson oversaw the technological reign of Atlantis, which actually was an entire, like, continent, which, if there's an entire continent where the Atlantic Ocean now rests, there would have been significantly less ocean on the planet, which makes me, again, more confused by the whole 70% of the planet is covered by ocean, because it wouldn't have been if all of the Atlantic Ocean was land, which makes Vandal's plan a bit more confusing. I might need to rewatch it a couple more times. Like, yes, I get it. Like, oh, we can control the water, but also boats. And also, like, they had little flying thingies. Do they not go long range? Is it like a Tesla? You have to recharge it every 500 miles? I don't really get it. I don't think they needed underwater people, to be honest. But that was the dream, I guess. Nabu is another Vandal relative. I think he said son. I'm assuming he means literal, like, son, not like a descendant of some kind. This is interesting because was like Nabu and Orion, Atlantis one, were they like brothers? Did they know each other? Because this is now two of Vandal's sons who have been touched, been blessed by the Lords of Order. So there's definitely a lot. The Lords of Order and the Lords of Chaos, the Chaos Emeralds, have all been watching Vandal very closely. They're all kind of keeping track of him. I'm curious, like, what kind of ability they have as far as, like, on what scale do they see things. So they all have this vested interest in Vandal, sure, but is it kind of like, oh, we can see a little bit of the future, or we can see possibilities of the future, and we need to do this, push him left, push him right to get to this desired result? Or is it just like, he seems pretty powerful, if we don't do anything, he'll probably mess us up, so they just kind of hang around, you know what I mean? I'm not sure which it is. That's two of his children being in some way interacted with by the Lords of Order seems like not a coincidence. Or it's just the presence of Clarion means they feel compelled to interact with him, because it's like, well, this dude's hovering around, so we have to keep an eye on you. I'm so happy that I was right about that. I was like, why would the other Chaos Lords show up? And I got it right. So, talk to me nice. I'm very smart. Just saying nonsense now. We saw McGann grieving, and now she's connecting emotionally with her sister and processing her loss, and cool. Gar is still depressed. The update, still depressed. So we got, is this introduced for the first time on this show to Etrigan? I think so. I don't think we've met him before. And it looks like, you know, she still has to assemble a team. So we have the Watcher. Oh God, you guys told me his name. Is he just called the Stranger? Is that like his official title? Well, the Stranger is doing up Nick Fury and going around and requesting people to assemble to assist Clarion, because I guess the Chaos Demon you know is better than the Chaos Demon who wants to destroy the planet to make a point. So They need more magical help because they have all of the force of the might of the Chaos Emeralds behind the child, which begs the question, why don't the Lords of Order just kick in? Like, if they can cooperate and work as a team, I don't see why the Lords of Order couldn't. If this is not your bag, if this is not when you step in as a Lord of Order, when do you step in? Like, why is Vandal Savage and the Stranger going around recruiting? Like, this seems directly like your responsibility, but whatever. Curious who else they would be recruiting. Obviously they're recruiting from the demony, magic-y side of the DC universe, and I'm not an expert on that, so my brain is just like, I don't know, Constantine? Like, that's the only, is that the only person who's left? Zatanna, Constantine, Etrigan, like, that seems like the main dudes for chaos magic. Maybe Raven? Raven has a demon in her forehead, but have we met Raven on this show? I don't think so, but she does have a demon on her forehead and she also does magic, so that would be a cool addition, and also I'd be happy to see Raven again because I'm a fan. We got magic, we got fighting, we got the sinking of Atlantis, we've got the birth of the mer people, who all, at least conveniently, what, like 20%, not even 20%, 7%, there was an entire continent of people. But population-wise, if it's several 100,000 years ago, there couldn't have been that many of them. I mean, granted, most of them died, so maybe there could have been a lot of them, but... Anyway, I think the real issue here is, are the Atlanteans inbred? Yes. There couldn't have been that many survivors. They all have to share a bloodline to have water powers. They're super inbred. How many Atlanteans can reproduce with Homo sapiens and have aquatic children? That's probably the only way to expand the bloodline. Do they have aquatic children? I mean, we met Aqualad. He's half human, right? So, yes. Is it like Midsummer and they have to go out every once in a while and recruit a human just to be a little bit less inbred? Hopefully they don't keep a super inbred psychic in a closet somewhere. Anyway, off that topic. I enjoyed the episode, but like, narratively and flow-wise, I kind of did see over the course of the episode what people could maybe take issue with, and I guess we'll see how the next, 3 episodes go, because they're cramming a lot into it. There's a lot of these little asides to Gar and McGann where it's like, it feels like they want to make sure the audience doesn't forget, and they want to make sure like, oh, but like everything's connected to the grieving and blah blah blah. So they don't feel like they can just drop it. Like, if they're gonna throw in a Gar arc at the end of the season, it feels like they feel compelled to keep checking in on Gar. But it's like, you could have told me at the beginning of the season that he's majorly depressed, and then checked back in with him at the end of the season and been like, he's been depressed the whole time, and I'd say, bet. I don't actually need to see it throughout the whole season, so that definitely is a bit distracting. The McGann thing felt when you're going from like Chaos Lord fighting, the history of Vandal Savage, the sinking of Atlantis, depression. doesn't flow. So if this is kind of one of the major complaints, I could definitely see it. But for the A plot, the A and B plot, I had a good time. I enjoyed that part, so I'm still with it. I think that is about it for me for today, so I'm going to end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, comment, etc. All those good things that make me very, very happy. If you don't want to do any of that, but you've watched all the way to the end of this video, thank you. I still really, really appreciate you. You can follow me on Twitter at Leah Sees Movies, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace!